Hey guys, Matt from DFD here. I'm just coming to you with the third part of my tutorial on how to scream. In this video I'll be going into the higher range screams, sort of like Mitch old Bring Me, old Ask an Alexandria kind of stuff. There's a lot of different ones we're going to cover, starting with the only example I can give you is vocalists who use them in their music. To begin with, I'm going to start with the Mitch kind of highs because they're the easiest ones to get your head around, really. We went over the size, to get to a low scream you go and then the and if you've been practicing, that should be sounding pretty good about now. We have little lows going on, you should be able to make little words, that kind of thing. And then it gets to the mids where we just open our mouth a bit more with that sigh, and then we add a little bit more force, you get that kind of sound. They probably aren't as advanced as your lows about now, but keep working at them, you'll get there. When it gets to highs, we're going to do the same thing with the transition from lows to mids as we are going to do from mids to highs. It's another level of that sigh that will push up through the low boundaries and into a high kind of range. But there's a certain way to do this without pushing and like cracking your voice. Right, so again we're going to begin with this little sigh we have. This for the lows, we're just going to go. So when we've got that, now we're going to go into the mid sigh, which is. Now to get that to a high, you sort of have to. The sound should feel like it's going like that, not coming more like. So with that in mind, we're going to go and try and push it up when it comes out instead of it carrying on forward. So we get the sigh and then we go, and that kind of basic noise is the basis of a high scream. And there's a lot of different high screams. We've got fry screaming, which I'll cover later on when you've sort of got your head around how to make the high noise to begin with. We've got the shouty high screams, which are like, they're not as like gritty, you can understand them a bit better. It's more like distorted shouting rather than an actual scream. And then you've got mid-highs, which are a cross in the middle of a mid-scream and a high scream, and they sound a bit like a bit better when you cup it. It gives it a bit more definition. Right, moving on. So we've got the mid-sigh, and then we're pushing that up to a high. So it's now you want to try not to push too hard when it gets up to the high. Highs are very easy to make the noise of when you get your. You don't need any force whatsoever. You can literally just go. No force at all. I literally can't even tell that my voice is making a noise when I'm singing highs, but they are more fry screams rather than the shouty screams. If we're going into the shouty high screams, then when you get up to that high, that is basically a shouty scream. You want to be able to make that noise without having to go do the in front of it. So really, to do that, you're just going to have to experiment and like keep practicing the mid into the high, and then you'll hit a level where you remember where that high is, and you can just like make the noise straight off. So it's like I go and I can just go make that noise straight away. Just takes practice. Don't push too hard. Don't strain your voice. You'll be all right with highs. They're not really. They shouldn't hurt you whatsoever until you're getting into more fry screams. When if you do things tiny bit wrong, it can start hurting your throat. But they're really easy to get into, and they're really easy to control when you've got them down. So once you've got that straight down, you can start shaping that into an actual high scream. So you've remembered where it is. Now you'll feel like your throat here is further forward than it needs to be when you're making that noise. It's like what you want to try and do is back that up a bit and open the airwaves a bit more so you can broaden that sound. So instead of it going you go and that's pushed like my throat is like pushed backwards a bit more open airways, bigger sound, more I can open my mouth more and make better sound with that. So give that a try. You just want to go from the, if you still need to go from the sigh, go and remake that sound when you get up to the high instead of going straight into it. Carry on practicing that and carry on doing that, and I'll move on to fry screams now. Alright, moving on to fry screams. These are what Oli Sykes used to use in Suicide Season and Counting Your Blessings, what Danny Worsnop from Ask Alexandria uses on the Stand Up and Scream and Reckless and Relentless. These ones, once you get your head around the sigh to make the noise, what you want to do is remember where that is, where you come out of the sigh, and then think these come from a little bit lower than that. You make the noise, and really you have to build it into the higher pitch, but from an already high pitched scream. So it's like as opposed to the bigger ones that I've just told you, which are like so there's a distinct difference there. The fries are a little more edgy, a little more high pitched, and a little more more distorted. But these, they come from a little bit of a build up with the high screams. So it's like and to get that, it's basically a new sigh in itself. We want to go and make a high pitched sigh. So we've got the and then we just sort of move the back of our throats a bit further up, and it's like once you've got your head around the sort of the sighing and the lows, you should be able to experiment a little bit and make that a little high sigh on your own. It shouldn't come too hard now. So like, and to build that into the high scream, we do basically the same thing as we did with the other highs. We just build that up and push that to the limit of our voice. This will tickle at first in your throat. It may even hurt a little bit. That's because, again, as I said in the first ever video, your voice needs to be broken to know how to repair itself to do these things. Don't overdo it. Just make sure you know and you remember how you can do it. And then when your voice heals again, just try it again. Keep trying it until you hit the spot where it won't hurt and you remember where that is. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. In my next video I'll be going on to shout, and that'll be the final part of the tutorials. Check out the band if you haven't already, and like and subscribe. Thanks again.